Let's see if the streak of terrible continues. Hey, Darius! Frickin' sweet! Okay, so much for that. So, the Darius series is a long-standing series. There were more games released in it in Japan than there were elsewhere, as evidenced by this Japanese-only Game Boy Advance game. It is very much in the, old-style, left-to-right shmup, definitely increasing that as high as it will go. The unique thing about the Darius series is that pretty much all of the enemies, well, no, not all the enemies, but all the big bosses are robotic, aquatic things. Sometimes fish, sometimes cephalopods, or whatever octopi and squids are. That's why we save states, because, well, it's also why we have 7 lives, but this kind of game, losing lives, is kind of terrible, even though we didn't even have a single upgrade yet. But oh well. We'll still go with it. I'm trying to forget now if... Okay, it is just one single type, which is different from the rest, which has the upgrade for us. So yeah, difficulty. This is one of those rather brutal, really frickin' mean to the player type games, in that you're gonna die a whole lot, and my shift key is gonna stick a whole lot, and overwrite save states when I don't want them to. It is the kind of game where if you lose your upgrade, well, no, if you die, you lose your upgrade. So it looks like red is for missiles, red is for the basic shot, green upgrades are for the missiles, and blue is for our shields. And other than that, killing enemies is just for the benefit of not having them there to be shooting at you. Another shield upgrade, don't mind if I do. The missiles still look largely the same, and pretty certain that this is a port of another game. I think Darius R was in arcades, but I'm not certain about that. I'll have to double check that at some point. I figure we're about maybe halfway through the stage so far. I'm rather hoping that the final zone will be very similar to the Darius Twin game on the Super Nintendo. That one was used in a Sidlexian Super NES Championship. It was like round 4 or 5 or so of the 2009 SNES Championship. And that was my very first introduction to the Darius series, playing the very last stage with somewhat upgraded weapons, with the goal just being to just beat the whole stage. And that final stage was unique in that instead of these kind of generic shmup-style ships of alien ships of varying types, the final stage had just huge battleships of different fish. which really helped to, you know, make the whole series freaking awesome for me, just knowing that that kind of thing existed. Since, you know... Oh, Jesus, yeah, coelacanth robot. The hallmark of the Darius series, as mentioned, is these giant robot fish, which are the bosses, and also sometimes the regular enemies when you're far enough into the game. Also, I'm losing my shield at a rapid pace here. Yeah, good enough. I'll take the shield loss. Just so long as I don't get destroyed, I'm okay with it. Oh, good night, Val. Obviously can't read the chat too often with the whole shmup thing going on. Yes, it is very enjoyable for me, just for the robot fish thing going on. I think it helps stand out from the crowd a lot, rather than just the generic spaceships and other such nonsense. Yeah, that would be the shift key going wacky again. Definitely did not mean to save state after dying. Eventually I'll get a new keyboard. Wait, did I just... Well, crap. That sure is a thing. Usually, between each stage in the Darius series, there's a big ol' map which shows the branching paths, with each zone having just a single letter name. Apparently, in this, you don't have a branching map, you just have a single choice as you are flying along after you beat the boss. Now that I know that, I will do my best to, you know, actually be aware of that happening. Shouldn't have let those things get behind me. Still though, dual missiles, totally worth it. I just overwrote both save states thanks to stupid keyboard. And here we are again. Well, still have our upgrades, so that sure is a thing. Can't really complain too much, I guess. Well, we have our upgraded missiles at the very least. We do seem to have lost the basic pew-pew gun upgrades that we had. I think double missiles are far better than the gun upgrades we had, though. Well, let's upgrade these missiles even more. Indeed, that does seem to be the case of get 5 of the upgrade balls, and you get a better thing, which sticks around. First 4 upgrade things mean nothing. Well, they mean slight things, but not overly much. Okay, shield upgrade. That's always nice. Let's not waste it as soon as we get it, shall we? Hey, and more missile if I can grab the damn thing. There we go. Okay, no reason to kill that whole lineup. Very nice how they color code the upgrade dropping ones, so there's no guesswork whatsoever. Of course, that's not particularly unique, but even so. Woohoo! Huge battleship time already. Guard Savage. Now, sometimes you can guess what kind of fish it's going to be based on the name. Other times, not quite so much. Like, I have absolutely no idea what... Well, I guess it's kind of shark-like. Yeah, definitely something sharky. And I had to say, unless we get some kind of second form... Oh, okay, there we go, we got another attack. Still not overly difficult, but still... I would have to say that that last one, Coelacanth, was harder than this guy. Spread shot beats a single shot any day. Even your fast ram attack isn't that great in comparison. Nice to see that the ones that go past you don't then loop back around and home in on you. They just kind of keep going. It's rather nice for a creature of this type. Usually the boss projectiles would always be homing. I guess maybe since it is such an early boss, it is the way it is. Okay, so let's see. I would guess up would be E, and down would be F. Let's see if I'm correct. Yep, E zone. Now usually around like zones L and M is where the final stage comes in. So in that sense, it's a pretty short game really. It's only about like 4 or 5 stages long really. Oh, maybe 5 or 6. I guess it depends on how the branching goes and how many branches there are. So I really need to work on getting this shield power up. It would help if I was firing with all guns instead of just the missiles. Although it will be quite nice to see what the missile upgrade is going to be once we get to that point. Only 2 more to go. That not a fan of is the game's speed. You know, it feels like it's just slower than other, you know, basic shmups. And that's not really a good feeling to have with a shmup. We missed out on that upgrade, so, you know, let's not miss out on that upgrade. How far back was that particular save state? Since I made the mistake of overwriting the other one due to sticky shift key that likes to stay stuck down. Slowness is really not helping when things like that happen. Of course, when it's not getting stuck down, as always, it is not going down, and I will fail to load, or fail to write. Okay, so there's this finally. Got that. Okay, we should be able to upgrade... Kind of don't do that anymore. Should be able to upgrade both the regular gun and the shield before we get to the next boss. Assuming the, you know, basic pattern of upgrades being given to us holds out. I have a clue what that gray one just did. Oh well. Presumably it was something good. Hey, good night, Gerald. Ooh, silver shield. Quad missiles. And that is one step closer to, you know, the old shmup standby of being invulnerable, basically. Still have not seen anything like the, weapons used in Darius Twin, though. Mystic power? Maybe a giant oyster? I have no idea. No, it's like a Nautilus kind of deal. So why is that mystic power? What does giant Nautilus have to do with mystic power? Also, either that boss was insanely weak, or holy crap, is this gun powerful. Okay, let's see. So, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Let's go down to I. And at the lowest level would be J. And then K, L, M, N. I think. Yeah, K, L, M, N, and O. Assuming it keeps the, you know, bowling ball style, ever-branching, increasing path. This is a nice change of scenery. Kinda had enough of that yellow piping. Of course, now we get yellow rock structure things. And 2 of the shield upgrades at once. Okay, so keep smashing every asteroid that comes by. Good to know. Now, this is what I mentioned about the basic enemies being mostly bland, and you see a lot of them. They don't really vary from stage to stage overly much. Yeah, no, that's not what we're gonna go with. So it's not really until the final area in which you get the awesome stuff with the enemy variety all being giant robot fish things. You know, I probably actually still have the save state from that SNES championship so long ago, but don't have SNES 9X 1.50 anymore. That's kind of upgraded a couple times in the past 4 years, so probably can't load those save states anymore. Okay, not liking these appearing things. That's never a good way to go with a shmup. Or at least that's never a safe situation for the player in a shmup. It's always kind of dangerous. There. That took far too long. Really looking forward to whatever the next upgrades are going to be. Don't care overly much about the shields, but... And also those grey ones are definitely not extra lives, so... At this point I will just assume that they are just for points. So I don't see anything else happening when I pick those up. One other thing to mention is that this is the nice type of shmup that lets you simply hold down both the A and B buttons in order to be firing the missiles and the laser. I don't have to button mash to actually do well. I'm actually going to go ahead and retract what I said about occasionally being able to guess what a creature will be based on the name. I'm gonna go ahead and say that the names pretty much have nothing whatsoever to do with the kind of creature it is. You know, maybe that's just for this particular game, and maybe they are better matched in other Darius games. But either way... yeah, that's not... Can I kill the tail? I cannot kill the tail. Okay, we'll just keep going after the face then, and the antenna. Okay, we can take one hit, but let's not take 3, shall we? And the laser is being decidedly less overpowered for this boss. I wonder if it expected us to have upgraded it again by this point. Either way, we will definitely have done so by the next boss. Okay. Yes, actually making a choice would help. Let's see. I think we're going into Zone N. Not entirely certain though, this is usually where it'll start changing things up with the direction of the branches. Or I could be wrong and we're going into Zone N. Yeah, this is either final stage or next to last stage, I think. If anyone wants to go ahead and find out if that is correct, that'd be nifty. I did not look into exactly how many stages are in this particular branch. It doesn't usually go past about, like, R or so. Yeah, we're still just seeing basic enemies, so probably not final. I don't know if that whole, final stage full of just fish was unique to Darius Twin, but we'll see. Okay, now is the time where I could really use that. Frickin' sweet. Thanks, game. Right when I needed it. Although I am getting the feeling that the enemies are also getting upgraded as the stages go along, so the same basic enemies are still taking about the same number of hits as they did in Zone A. Which is kinda crap and defeats the purpose of upgrading the weapons. Well, we got a nifty new gun upgrade, so still takes about the same number of hits to kill those enemies, so. Let's see, will the shield be next? Ah. Yes, it will be, assuming we can... Woohoo! Golden shield. I guess that does make sense after the silver shield. But, it makes sense in certain ways and not so much in other ways, like, why would a golden shield necessarily be better than a silver shield? There we go. Alrighty then. Now hopefully the next one will be a nice missile upgrade. And that's exactly what we... Maybe missiles are upgraded to maximum, because all that did was destroy everything on the screen. Coronatus. That's a different kind of wording. Ooh, seahorse. And this time we can take out the tail. Oh, it's just the tail and the face. Not giving us overly many things to shoot at here. Okay, so I guess it was sort of a helmet, actually, and now... So yes, now I'm not going to take nearly as many hits, or at least try not to. Also, while the male seahorse does actually give birth, usually, doesn't usually do so out of its mouth, game. It's not how that works. definitely major props to anyone who could handle this kind of thing. Normally, I would not be able to do so without my constant save stating, even when, you know, keyboarders go and screwy on me. And apparently it was not very much further after breaking that helmet. Okay, so let's go... Oh, hey, final zone is over. I guess because we were only on normal? One moment while I look into this. That was unexpected. Oh, there is no FAQ for this game. Let's do a quick check for Darius R, see if it is a port. It is not a port. There is G Darius on the arcade, but... Oh, and arcade and PC and PlayStation and a million other things. But no, there is no Darius R. This one's unique and does not have an FAQ, so I have no idea whether or not it would have more stages on a higher difficulty setting. Yeah. Hey, we actually managed a blank name. So I'm pretty sure that will about do it for Darius R. There are, of course, many other paths you can take through the different... Yeah, see? There's the different branches. I wonder if... No, we can't go into a stage we have not actually done. That's a bit of a shame. Although it is pretty cool that it does offer you the stage select option. And I will assume then that going on to hard difficulty setting would not have granted us any further stages. So, that kinda sucks that there's not the awesome final level that Darius Twin had. You know, entirely robot fish enemies throughout the entire stage, and then, you know, 2 or 3 big final bosses that didn't feel like a final level at all. But it's what we got, so this has been Darius R. I guess this has been a somewhat complete playthrough, even if it was just through a single path and not through every single stage. Oh well.